Do you sleep in the same position every night? And do you ever wake up with tingling arms, a tight chest, or a pounding head, thinking maybe it's just poor sleep or a bad pillow? Most people don't know this, but nearly 1 in 4 strokes happen at night or in the early hours of the morning, right after we wake up. And for many older adults, the warning signs are subtle: a numb, cheek-blurry vision, dizziness that fades after a few minutes. I had a patient recently, let's call him Mr. Bill. He's 70, active, eats fairly well, and takes no major medications. But he came in one day saying, "I woke up and couldn't feel the left side of my face for a few minutes. I thought I had slept funny." He mentioned that he always sleeps curled up on his left side. We ran a scan and discovered he had experienced a mild ischemic event, a kind of mini-stroke from reduced blood flow to the brain during sleep. The scariest part, he had no risk factors except his sleeping position. That's what led me to a deeper conversation with someone who has spent decades observing the silent ways aging affects our body, including what happens when we close our eyes at night. Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Hyman. I've spent over 3 decades helping people reverse chronic illness and protect their brain, heart, and energy as they age. And today I'm joined by Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, someone I deeply respect, not just for his wisdom on longevity, but for how he sees the full picture.
Thank you, Dr. Hyman. In Japan, we study not only how people eat, but also how they sleep, because healing doesn't stop at night, and damage doesn't either. When you lie down, your body enters a different mode, your heart rate slows, your blood pressure drops, and your breathing becomes shallow. That's natural. But if your sleeping position puts pressure on your neck or folds your body in a way that blocks blood flow, you may be unknowingly raising your stroke risk while you sleep. We often assume strokes happen from stress or exertion, but for many people over 60, the danger comes quietly through posture compression and reduced oxygen. And that's what we're going to explore in this episode: 9 common sleeping positions and nighttime habits that may seem harmless, but could be silently damaging your brain, your heart, and your circulation.
Some of these might surprise you, but once you understand what's happening inside your body, especially after 60, you can begin to sleep not just longer, but safer. Stick with us, and by the end of this episode, you'll know which sleeping posture increases stroke risk the most, and how to gently adjust your routine for better protection. And if you or someone you love wakes up often feeling tired, dizzy, or numb, subscribe and share this episode. Because sometimes just turning your body slightly can change your brain's future.
Most people think of stroke as something that happens in the middle of the day, maybe during stress or after exercise. But the reality is your risk may actually be higher when you're completely still, especially during the night. When we sleep, our body goes into a restorative mode. The heart rate slows, blood pressure drops. This is normal. It's called nocturnal dipping, and in a healthy person, it's a good thing. But for someone over 60 whose blood vessels may already be narrowed or stiff, that natural dip can become risky. Now imagine you're lying down in a position where your neck is bent slightly forward or your head is tilted too far to one side. In that position, the arteries that supply blood to your brain can become partially compressed. And with less pressure from the heart and a slower pulse during deep sleep, the brain may not be getting the oxygen it needs. That is how some strokes begin, not with a bang, but with a quiet lack of flow.
Stroke doesn't always happen from stress. Sometimes it comes from stillness. During the night, your breathing becomes shallow. If you are slightly dehydrated, and many older adults are, your blood becomes thicker. Now combine that with a position that blocks circulation and oxygen levels that naturally dip. It becomes a silent chain reaction. You are not moving, but your brain is slowly being starved. This is especially true for those over 60. The aging process naturally causes blood vessels to lose elasticity. If there is plaque buildup, even a small one, the wrong sleeping position can be enough to reduce flow just below the threshold. That may not cause a full stroke right away, but it can lead to mini strokes, which damage the brain over time.
This is why we're having this conversation, because while you sleep, your body should be healing, not struggling. And in the next part, we're going to show you exactly which positions and habits put you at the greatest risk and, more importantly, what to do instead.
Let's begin with one of the most common and surprisingly risky positions, sleeping on your left side for long hours. At first glance, this position seems harmless. Many people find it comfortable, especially those with acid reflux or snoring issues. But if you stay on your left side all night, your heart and major blood vessels can experience subtle but consistent pressure. When you lie on your left, gravity causes your heart to shift slightly and rest more directly against your chest wall. That alone isn't always dangerous, but if you already have stiff arteries or a partially narrowed carotid artery on the left, this pressure can reduce blood flow to the brain, especially during deep sleep, when blood pressure is naturally lower.
This risk increases if you are over 60 and already have signs of vascular aging, things like high blood pressure, elevated cholesterol, or mild plaque buildup. The left carotid artery, which brings blood to the brain, runs very close to the heart. If that area is compressed night after night, it can lead to insufficient oxygen to the brain. Some people wake up with numbness in one side of the face or a heavy feeling in the head. They may think it's just sleep inertia, but it could be a sign that blood flow.
So, what can you do? We're not saying you must avoid your left side completely, but try this lie on your right side instead and use a body pillow or long cushion to support your upper leg and shoulder. This keeps your spine aligned, reduces pressure on your chest, and still gives you that curled comfort many people love. A small adjustment like this could make a major difference in how your brain is nourished while you sleep.
Was disrupted during the night. The second position we need to talk about is something I see all the time: people stacking 2 or even 3 pillows behind their head at night. It might feel cozy or help with snoring, but there's a hidden risk. When your neck is bent forward too much, especially for hours at a time, it can compress the blood vessels that run through your spine and into your brain. These are called the vertebral arteries. They travel through the bones of your neck and supply oxygen-rich blood to parts of the brain that control balance, coordination, and alertness.
When these arteries are compressed even slightly, your brain may not receive enough oxygen during sleep. That's why many people who sleep with too many pillows wake up feeling dizzy, foggy, or with a dull headache in the back of the head. They may blame poor sleep or age, but often the real problem is mechanical. And for people over 60 whose neck joints and arteries are already less flexible, this pressure becomes more dangerous.
So how do we fix it? The solution is not to throw away your pillows, but to choose the right one: medium height, supportive, and shape to keep your neck aligned with the rest of your spine. Your head should rest in a neutral position, not tilted too far forward or backward. If you sleep on your back, you may benefit from a small rolled towel under your neck rather than a thick pillow. If you sleep on your side, the pillow should fill the space between your head and shoulder without pushing your chin toward your chest. Protecting the arteries in your neck is one of the simplest, most effective ways to reduce stroke risk during sleep. And all it takes is choosing your pillow with purpose.
Let's talk about a sleeping position that feels comforting for many: the fetal position. That's when you curl your body tightly, knees pulled up to your chest, arms wrapped around a pillow or your torso. It mimics how babies rest in the womb, and it can feel safe, especially when you're cold or anxious. But while this position may feel emotionally soothing, it can create hidden problems for your breathing and circulation, especially as you age.
When you curl up too tightly, your chest compresses. That limits how much air your lungs can take in during each breath. With less oxygen coming in, your body naturally retains more carbon dioxide. That shift in oxygen and carbon dioxide balance, even a small one, can lead to headaches, morning fatigue, and, over time, reduced brain clarity. It's also worth noting that many older adults already have shallower breathing at night. When you combine that with a position that physically limits your lungs, the brain may receive even less oxygen during the deepest sleep stages.
So, who's most at risk here? If you're someone who wakes up feeling tired even after a full night's sleep, or if you often get up with a dull headache or dry mouth, your sleeping posture could be part of the reason. And if you have chronic lung issues like asthma or sleep apnea, sleeping curled up may worsen your oxygen levels further.
The fix is gentle. Instead of pulling your knees all the way up, Let your legs relax in a soft bend. Keep your spine gently curved, not hunched. Use a pillow between your knees if needed, and allow your chest to stay open so your lungs can move freely. Small changes like these help you rest in comfort and breathe, like your brain depends on it. Because it does.
One of the most problematic sleep positions, especially for people over 60, is sleeping on your stomach. Some people feel this position helps reduce snoring or gives them a sense of grounding, but the risks far outweigh the comfort. When you sleep face down, your chest is compressed. That puts direct pressure on your heart and stomach, which can interfere with both circulation and digestion. But more importantly, your neck is forced to turn to one side for hours at a time, which can partially block blood flow to the brain.
There's another hidden danger here: increased pressure inside the skull. When your face presses against the pillow and your chest is restricted, the veins in your neck can become congested. This causes intracranial pressure to rise, which is especially dangerous for people with high blood pressure or fragile blood vessels. People who sleep in this position are more likely to wake up with stiff necks, jaw pain, facial numbness, or even headaches that feel like a tight band around the head. It may not seem serious at first, but over time it can contribute to reduced oxygen delivery and higher stroke risk during early morning hours.
This isn't just theory. Sleep studies have shown that stomach sleeping reduces heart rate variability, which means your nervous system is under more stress, not less, during the night. So, what's the safe adjustment? For anyone over 60, we recommend avoiding this position completely. If you find yourself rolling onto your stomach in your sleep, try placing a firm pillow or a folded blanket under your knees when you lie on your side or back. This makes it harder for your body to flip forward and encourages more protective sleep postures. Better sleep starts with better alignment, and that starts before your eyes close.
Here's a habit that many people don't even notice: sleeping with their arms raised above the head or resting on the forehead. It might feel relaxing at first, like stretching out, but keeping your arms in this position for hours can actually interfere with circulation in more ways than one.
When your arms are raised for long periods, the blood vessels under the shoulder and collarbone can become compressed. That slows down the return of blood to the heart, which makes the heart work harder. In older adults, this can result in morning spikes in blood pressure, which is a known trigger for strokes. Many people also experience numbness or tingling in the hands, which they might brush off as a pinched nerve or bad posture. But it's often due to this sleeping habit keeping the arms above the head, where gravity pulls blood away from the fingertips.
Another issue is that when your hands rest on your forehead, your shoulders tense up slightly. That creates tightness in the neck and upper spine, which can further restrict blood flow to the brain while sleeping. So how should you adjust? Try sleeping with your hands resting near your hips, or gently folded over a pillow that you hug close to your chest. This helps keep the shoulders relaxed, the arms supported, and the blood moving freely. It's a small shift, but one that allows your body to rest without obstruction.
Many people think it's harmless to fall asleep on the couch, especially after dinner or while watching television. But when your spine isn't properly supported, your body pays the price even during a short nap. Sleeping in a slouched or curled position on a sofa can bend the spine unnaturally, putting pressure on blood vessels and nerves that run along the back and chest. This can restrict blood flow and oxygen delivery, especially to the heart and brain.
There's another concern here, particularly for those over 60. When you sleep in a half-seated or twisted posture, it disrupts the natural rhythm of your heart, and in some cases, can trigger nighttime atrial fibrillation or irregular heartbeat. You may not feel it immediately, but repeated poor posture during sleep contributes to fatigue, morning palpitations, and in the long term, increased stroke risk.
It's tempting to think a short nap on the sofa is no big deal, but for older adults that nap may come with hidden costs, especially if it becomes a nightly habit. So, what can we do instead? If you need a short rest, choose a reclining chair that allows your spine to stay straight and supported. Place a small pillow behind your lower back and elevate your feet slightly using a cushion or footrest. Even a 20-minute nap should respect your body's structure, because when you treat your posture well, your heart and brain rest more safely.
We often talk about how important it is to get enough hours of sleep, but what many people forget is that uninterrupted sleep matters even more. Waking up 2, 3, or even 4 times a night can silently disrupt the body's most critical recovery processes. When your sleep is broken, your heart rate becomes irregular. This interrupted rhythm can lead to uneven blood flow, which is especially risky during the deep stages of rest, when your brain is most vulnerable.
Studies show that people who wake up multiple times during the night, whether due to nighttime urination or chronic insomnia, have a significantly higher risk of early morning strokes. That's because every time you wake up, your blood pressure may spike, suddenly your vessels constrict, and your brain has to readjust. Over time, this pattern wears down the vascular system. And for older adults, even short-term sleep fragmentation can increase inflammation and reduce oxygen delivery to the brain.
So how do we reduce these nighttime interruptions? It begins with daily habits. Avoid drinking large amounts of fluid after dinner. Limit foods that irritate the bladder or spike blood sugar late at night, such as spicy meals, caffeine, or sugary fruits. Create a consistent sleep routine with gentle movement or stretching before bed. And perhaps most importantly, look at your daytime diet, because poor sleep often starts with poor nutrition. Sleeping through the night isn't a luxury. It's a long-term investment in brain and heart health.
Let's talk about temperature. Many people think that a cold room is ideal for sleep. And while cool air can help you fall asleep faster, too much cold can actually be harmful, especially for older adults. When your room is too cold, or if you're not properly covered with a blanket, your body reacts by constricting blood vessels to preserve core temperature. This can cause your blood pressure to rise and fall unpredictably during the night, increasing stress on your heart and brain.
Some people even wake up with shivering muscle tightness or a strange sense of unease, and they don't always realize that the cause is their sleeping environment. As we age, the body becomes less efficient at regulating temperature, which means older adults are more sensitive to cold than they may think. Even a 2 or 3 degree drop overnight can cause vasoconstriction, which limits blood flow and puts added pressure on fragile vessels. For someone with existing high blood pressure or a history of heart disease, this effect may be enough to trigger morning headaches, poor circulation, or worse, a vascular event like a stroke.
So, what can you do? Keep your bedroom between 24 to 26 degrees Celsius, warm enough for comfort, but not hot. Use a thin but full coverage blanket that covers your arms, legs, and feet. The goal isn't just to feel cozy, it's to protect your circulation while you rest. Good sleep isn't just about how long you're in bed, it's about giving your body the right environment to heal.
Sometimes it's not just how you sleep, but what you take before bed that makes the difference. Many people over 60 take blood pressure medication or diuretics to manage heart or kidney conditions. These are important treatments, but the timing can quietly create risk if not handled properly.
When you take these medications too late in the evening, they can cause your blood pressure to drop too much during the night, especially during deep sleep, when your heart rate naturally slows. This can reduce blood flow to the brain, creating a situation where the brain doesn't get enough oxygen for several hours. The result may not be dramatic at first, but over time, this nightly dip can contribute to silent brain damage, mini strokes, or sudden dizziness upon waking. With diuretics or water pills, the problem is twofold. They lower blood pressure but also stimulate the kidneys to produce urine. That means more trips to the bathroom overnight, leading to interrupted sleep and even greater blood pressure swings.
So what's the safe approach? Always consult your doctor or pharmacist about when to take your medications. For many people, morning or early afternoon is ideal, giving the body time to adjust and minimizing nighttime dips. Never adjust timing on your own, but don't assume night is the best time just because it's convenient. Medication should support your health, not disrupt your sleep or put your brain at risk. A simple adjustment in timing can make a big difference in how safely your body rests.
Not all health habits have to be complicated. In fact, when it comes to stroke prevention, some of the most powerful changes are simple routines you do every night. Because the brain needs peace, rhythm, and consistency, especially while you sleep. Here are 5 habits that can help reduce pressure on your brain and blood vessels while supporting deep restorative rest. First, try not to eat after 7:30 p.m. Late-night meals force your digestive system to stay active when it should be slowing down. This can lead to blood pressure spikes, poor circulation, and poor quality sleep. Second, avoid drinking large amounts of water after 8 p.m. Yes, hydration is important, but what you drink during the day matters more. Too much water late at night leads to frequent urination, fragmented sleep, and abrupt changes in blood pressure.
Third, take 10 minutes to apply warm compresses or gently massage your neck and shoulders before bed. This helps relax tight muscles, improve blood flow to the brain, and ease tension built up during the day. Fourth, turn off your lights and all digital screens at least 45 minutes before sleep. The blue light from phones and TVs tricks the brain into staying alert, preventing melatonin from rising. And without melatonin, your blood vessels remain more tense, making stroke risk slightly higher during light sleep. Fifth, never ignore the need to urinate before bed. Holding urine too long can increase nighttime blood pressure and activate the sympathetic nervous system, which keeps your body on high alert instead of allowing deep rest.
Protecting your brain is not about doing more, it's about doing smarter. These 5 habits are small, but they create a strong foundation for stroke prevention. Let your habits support your sleep, and your sleep protect your life.
You don't need to fear sleep, but you do need to respect it. Most people don't realize it, but the way you sleep could be silently helping your brain heal or gradually increasing your stroke risk. It's not just about how long you sleep, it's about how your body is positioned, how your breathing flows, and how your brain is nourished overnight. One small adjustment, like changing your pillow height or shifting from sleeping on your stomach to your side, can completely change the way your body repairs itself during the night.
Safe sleep is not a luxury. It's a daily act of prevention. As we age, our tissues become more sensitive to pressure. Our blood vessels respond differently. But the good news is, we also become wiser. And that means we can take control not with fear, but with small, thoughtful habits that protect the brain while we sleep.
Practical guide for stroke-safe sleep after 60. 1. Choose the right sleeping position. Lie on your right side with a pillow between your knees, or sleep on your back with your legs slightly elevated. 2. Use proper pillow support. Your pillow should keep your neck in line with your spine, not pushing your chin down or tilting your head backward. 3. Keep your sleep environment calm. Maintain a cool room between 24 to 26 degrees. Reduce light and avoid screens at least 45 minutes before sleep. 4. Avoid heavy or salty meals at night. Eat early, ideally before 7:30 p.m. Keep dinner light and hydrate mostly during the day. 5. Listen to your body's natural signals. Don't hold your bladder. Don't ignore morning headaches, dizziness, or tingling. They may be your body's quiet warnings.
Stroke prevention doesn't only happen at the doctor's office. It happens at bedtime, in silence, in stillness, and in the way you treat your body while it sleeps. Every night is a new opportunity to protect your brain. Begin tonight. Call to action. If you or someone you love is over 60 and concerned about stroke sleep or blood pressure, like, subscribe. Share this episode. You may not be able to control everything in life, but you can control how you rest, and that alone could save your life.